said DiJonai Carrington should be suspended for Game 2. I agree. Insanely mocked Caitlin Clark after getting called for a foul during a game. Fans are talking about a potential boycott around the WNBA because of the treatment of Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark just got poked in the eye during her WNBA playoff debut. But you know what's crazier? She says that's not even why she struggled. So what really happened out there? Picture this. It's Clark's first playoff game. The crowd's going wild, and bam! DiJonai Carrington's finger ends up in Clark's eye. Ouch! You'd think that would mess up anyone's game, right? But here's the kicker. Clark says it didn't affect her at all. So if it wasn't the eye poke, what went wrong for the rookie sensation? Clark had some good looks at the basket, but the ball just wouldn't drop. It's like the hoop had a force field or something. But there's gotta be more to the story. What's the real reason behind Clark's struggles in her playoff debut? Was it nerves? The pressure? Or is there something we're all missing? Let's dig into what really happened and why Clark's shocking revelation changes everything we thought we knew about this game. Clark's eye poke wasn't her first unexpected challenge in the pros. Her record-breaking college career set sky-high expectations. But the WNBA had a surprise waiting. What happened in those first few games that made everyone rethink Clark's path to stardom?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually.
It was not called a foul, by the way. It should have been a foul after I've seen it. They caught Caitlin Clark in the eye. Ultimately, she ended up getting a black eye out of it.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's wild ride from college superstar to WNBA rookie. You think you know her story, but there's one detail about her transition that nobody's talking about. First, let's rewind to Clark's college days. She was unstoppable, breaking records left and right. She wasn't just good, she was the Naismith College Player of the Year. Everyone thought she'd waltz into the WNBA and dominate from day one. But guess what? Things didn't go as planned. Imagine this. Clark joins the Indiana Fever, and boom! They start the season 0-4. That's right, 4 straight losses. It's like someone hit the reset button on Clark's magic powers. What was going on? Was it just rookie jitters, or was there something more to it? Here's where it gets crazy. Despite the rough start, Clark wasn't about to let a few losses define her rookie year. She decided to flip the script. You know what she did? She broke the record for most assists by a rookie with 337. That's insane! It's like she said, okay, if I can't win games right away, I'll just make history instead. But wait, there's more. Clark didn't just stop at breaking one record. She went full superhero mode and became the first rookie in WNBA history to get a triple-double. That's points, rebounds, and assists all in double digits in one game. Who does that? Caitlin Clark does, that's who. And just when you thought she couldn't possibly do more, she sets a single-game record with 19 assists. 19! That's like giving out high fives to the entire team and then some. She was dishing out assists like they were going out of style. Now, you'd think with all these records and achievements, Clark would be shouting from the rooftops. But here's the kicker. She doesn't even care about the individual stuff. When asked about her incredible feats, Clark just shrugged it off. She said, I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, I don't really care. I'm just going to try to go out there and help my team.
It wasn't intentional by any means. You just watched the play. It wasn't intentional.
Looking directly at her, bringing her hand down directly at her eye. To me, she committed a crime and a police report should be filed.
That's the moment everyone realized Clark wasn't just a rookie with a hot hand. She was a leader in the making. While everyone else was busy counting her stats, she was focused on one thing: making her team better. Oh, and let's not forget about her three-point shooting. Clark broke the record for most three-pointers made by a rookie with 122. That's the second most in any WNBA season, rookie or not. It's like she brought a flamethrower to a basketball game. Just when everyone thought Clark was unstoppable, the playoffs rolled around. What happened next shocked fans and critics alike. How did the rookie sensation go from breaking records to barely making a dent in the biggest game of her career? Picture this: the Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun in a high-stakes playoff showdown. The crowd's buzzing, expectations are through the roof, and all eyes are on Caitlin Clark. This was supposed to be her moment to shine, right? Well, buckle up because things didn't go quite as planned. Clark's performance? Let's just say it was far from her usual fireworks. She managed just 11 points and 8 assists. That's not terrible for most players, but for Clark, it's like seeing Superman struggle to lift a grocery bag. The Fever didn't just lose, they got crushed 93-69. Ouch! So what went wrong? Was it the pressure? The bright lights? The tough defense? Here's where it gets interesting. Clark's shooting was way off. She only hit 4 out of 17 shots. From three-point range? Even worse, 2 for 13. It's like someone put a lid on the basket every time she took a shot. But hold on, there's more to this story. Clark wasn't just struggling with her shot, she admitted to some defensive slip-ups too. In her own words, our defense could have been a little bit better.
Many of these girls in the WNBA, but she's at the top of the list along with Kennedy Carter in Chicago and Angel Reese. DiJonai has a history with Caitlin Clark.
I had a few lapses on the defensive end. That's some real talk from the rookie star. While Clark was having an off night, the Suns' Marina Mabrey was having the game of her life. She came off the bench and dropped 27 points. That's not just good, it's historic. Mabrey set a new record for the most points scored by a WNBA player coming off the bench in a playoff game. Talk about adding insult to injury. The whole Fever team seemed to catch Clark's cold shooting. They missed a whopping 40 out of 67 shots. That's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a leaky bucket. No wonder they couldn't keep up with the sun. But here's the kicker. Despite all this, Clark isn't making excuses. She's not blaming her eye poke or rookie jitters or bad luck. Instead, she's owning up to her mistakes and focusing on how to improve. That's the kind of attitude that separates good players from great ones. So what does this mean for Clark and the Fever? Is this just a bump in the road or a sign of bigger problems? One thing's for sure, Clark's not the type to back down from a challenge. She's faced setbacks before and come back stronger. Remember how she turned those early season losses into record-breaking performances? Clark's performance left fans stunned, but her reaction after the game? Even more surprising. She just shared a perspective on losing that's turning heads in the sports world. You won't believe what Caitlin Clark said about her playoff debut disaster. It's not what you'd expect from a rookie who just had her worst game of the season. Instead of making excuses or hanging her head, Clark came out swinging with a mindset that's got everyone talking. She didn't blame the eye poke, the pressure, or even the tough defense. Nope, Clark hit us with something totally different. I think it's a good learning opportunity not only for basketball, but for life, Clark said after the game. Wait, what? A learning opportunity? Most players would be crushed after a performance like that, but not Clark. She's treating this loss like it's a golden ticket to greatness.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. DiJonai Carrington mocking Caitlin Clark on the court, played a very physical game with her. DiJonai Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
But that's not all. Clark went full analyst mode on her own game. She's not just throwing out empty words. She's breaking down her performance like a seasoned pro. I took care of the ball better than I usually do. We just have to find those positives, Clark explained. That's right, she's searching for silver linings in a game where she shot 4 for 17. That's some next level thinking right there. And remember that ankle injury she had earlier in the season? Clark's not letting that hold her back either. I turned it pretty good. It's hard to get into a flow, she admitted. But did you hear her complaining? No way. She's just stating facts and moving on. That's the kind of toughness that separates the good from the great. Now, here's where it gets really crazy. After getting absolutely crushed in her playoff debut, you'd think Clark might be having second thoughts. But no, she's doubling down on her belief in her team. I have a belief that we can come in here and win this series, one game at a time, Clark declared. That's not just confidence, that's straight up fearlessness. But wait, there's more. Clark's not just talking about winning games, she's talking about life lessons. Not everything's going to be perfect right away, she said. It's like she's reading from a self-help book, but she's living it in real time on the basketball court. And just when you thought Clark couldn't drop any more wisdom bombs, she hits us with this. Every little thing is a little battle, and it's just about how you approach things. That's some Jedi master level insight right there. She's not just playing basketball, she's out here teaching a masterclass on mental toughness. So, what's the deal with Clark's unshakable positivity? Is she just putting on a brave face for the cameras, or is this the real secret to her success? Think about it. Most rookies would crumble under the pressure of a bad playoff debut. But Clark? She's using it as fuel to become even better. Here's the thing about Caitlin Clark's playoff debut. It's not about the setback. It's about what comes next. Clark's not sitting around feeling sorry for herself. Nope, she's looking at the big picture. "I think you can see the progress that this team is making," she said. That's right. Even after a tough loss, she's focused on her team's growth. You know what's really wild? Clark's not blaming anyone but herself. She straight up said, "It's just some little things that we do to ourselves." That's the kind of attitude that turns rookies into legends. So, what's next for Clark? More records to break? More assists to dish out? More three-pointers to sink? You bet. But the real thrill? Watching her bounce back from this setback. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next in Clark's WNBA journey.